the first people to say that matter cannot be created out of nothing came from. Those are the Sankhyas. And the Sankhyas made that claim, that you cannot create something out of nothing. Also, almost for the first time, because running parallelly were the Greeks, who did even more splendorous things because they had a freer society then. And running parallel to that was the idea of the Vaisesikas, that the universe was made of atoms, atoms that could not be divided anymore. Now, it doesn't matter much that the word atom of that time and the word atom of today seem to be the same. It doesn't even matter that they thought of something which is indivisible, and that was called the atom. What is significant in that development is that for the first time, to try to explain a natural problem and a question about nature, instead of invoking the supernatural, people were trying to give a natural explanation. That we were now on the path to offer a natural explanation to a natural question without the help of the supernatural is a unique achievement of the human mind. It is that achievement that we seek to celebrate, not the conclusion of that achievement, of that attempt. And then the great significance of the Buddha. The Buddha had a fantastic life, embellished through lots of mythology that came later. But the significance of the Buddha was for the first time. And here is his superiority in thinking, according to our terms, to even Socrates. Because the Buddha, of all the people that we can name, was the first one who was able to offer a morality which did not require a god. Remember that Socrates, just before dying in his death cell, asked his disciples and friends not to forget to fulfill his vow of offering a rooster in sacrifice to a goddess. The Buddha did nothing of that kind. The Buddhists did, and that's a different story of a tragedy. The Buddha himself spoke about the Eightfold Path and right living, and that was the first moral philosopher, extraordinarily still relevant to today's world. But the first moral philosopher was born and preached and taught and wandered in a land and a society which already was alerted to the idea that the universe need not have a god to explain it. And the Buddha added to that, saying, no more do you need a god, no longer do you need a god to actually have a moral, ethical behavior. That completes the story. And since the Buddha's time till now, we are struggling with what has been a perversity in the human enterprise, where the supernatural was being brought back and the human and the stature of the human was being diminished. If the Buddha inaugurated the first enlightenment in human history, the first attempts to explain the universe in natural terms, the first proposals to live honestly and live the good life without having the crutches of a god or the threats of a god,